I've had quite a few people say, hey, stop moving the bill around. I get a little fidgety, I get excited when I look through stuff, but I will not move the bill around as much as I normally do. So, as you know, we look for a lot of different things when we look for bills that are fancy serial numbers, collectible, what have you. So, for instance, I look at the placement of the seals, printing on the bill in general, so anything from the signatures of the Treasury of the United States to Secretary of the Treasurer down here, to serial numbers, whether they match, of course, on different denominations. Serial numbers might be in a different spot. The annotations of the plate for the printing of the bill, which is right up here. There's also a version of it down here on a $20 bill. So as you can see, also condition, as many of you know, is something to take into account when you collect bills. So this one's been folded, obviously. It has a little dog ear going on. Lots of good repetition in the serial number, albeit they do match, so hey. Everything seems to be pretty standard. The vignette of Jackson here, which, if you watch my other video, they're considering actually getting rid of Jackson off the $20 bill in the 2020s, I think, at some point. But there is new bills out now as far as printing is concerned, and they've added some anti-counterfeiting measures to the new bills, so that was kind of took premise over changing anything graphically speaking. We know there's a constellation up here. That's another way that they stop counterfeiters from forging bills, at least with 20s, as well as pretty much every denomination has a version of it. The reverse of the bill seems to be printed pretty standard. You can see lots of actual fingerprints. That's just from people with greasy hands, honestly, or just the oils that are naturally occurring. That's why you should always, obviously I'm not right now because we're just searching, but once you actually have something that you realize is collectible, start handling it with gloves. We'll kind of shoot through these too. I know you guys watch a lot of my videos, so I won't kill you with telling you every nuance of what I'm looking for. We know the series number is down here. These are 2013, so is the previous one. Everything seems placed pretty well. 666 in the middle, so Mark of the Beast there, but nothing that is really collectible. So the Mark of the Beast helps us 0. And serial numbers match up. The seals for the Department of the Treasury and the United States Federal Reserve System seal on the left hand, the black one here with the eagle, seem to be printed properly. So flip to the reverse of the bill, see if there's anything there. I don't really see anything majorly out of place. The thing with a lot of bills that I collect, at least, is going to be noticeable errors. So yes, you can look at them under loops more specifically, and I do that as well. But nevertheless, it's going to be stuff that's going to be really popping out at you. We'll kind of shoot through these. $5 bill, obviously with a vignette of Lincoln on it. As you can see, serial numbers are printed in the same spots on the $5 bill. They are not on the $1 bill. It's just simply reversed as far as where the printing takes place. This one's also pretty centered. Everything seems aligned on it. Let's check the reverse out. You know, there's been changes over a lot of different denominations. The 5, at least the obverse of the 5, I really like a lot, as well as just newer bills in general. But older 5s, I think older bills in general were the most beautiful with their backings. Oh, we got kind of a heavy ink here. So let's go a little bit closer on that. As you can see, I mean, when they basically lay down, it goes through a multi-printing process when they produce the bill. And yes, I know I'm moving the bill around, but so generally when they go to lay down the second layer, sometimes it overlays heavier amounts of ink on the actual serial number, therefore coming up more pronounced. So unless it's really, really smeared or just off like that, like way more than this, I would say to a lot higher percentage of ink would have to be laid down. It's not really collectible because that is a common thing that across all gamuts of bills. I had a previous video that showed this seal way off to the left, but that's pretty centered. And they can have variation to the left or right. They have to really be misprinted pretty heavily in order for you to really have a premium over the face value. So we'll move on. The reverse of the bill seems correct as well. Keep it moving. And if you notice on a $1 bill, typically you'll have your faceplate number here for the obverse of the bill, plate number here for the reverse of the bill. That's more for a quality assurance thing. They can take tally of how many times plates have been used, and they can swap them out, stuff like that, which in some essences does create other varieties or errors. As you can see, this is an older bill. This is 15 years old. I love to think about the history of this bill, for example. Where's it been? What has it seen? All that. We have great repetition on the right-hand side of the serial number, but nothing to call home about, so we'll move on from that. I guess a date bill, but of course we have not gotten to the year 7525, so we're not going to consider that a date bill. Generally, it has to be kind of a retrospective thing or a past date in order to really be considered a date bill, or it has to be a birthday, which in essence every date bill would be a birthday note as well. But a birthday note would be essentially a bill for somebody that would still be alive, to be honest with you. So serial numbers match up. We have everything seems to be printed pretty standard. A lot of this deviation up here is simply because this bill is from 2009, so it's had essentially 8 or 9 years of circulation, thus causing smears and stuff like that as it's been folded and gotten wet and sweaty and all that fun stuff. Oh, sorry, let's check the reverse. Okay. And nothing really great here. Everything seems to be matching up. This is a newer $1 bill. As you can see, its condition is a lot nicer. Doesn't necessarily mean just because it's newer, but it is in better condition. Most likely just kept in wallets and purses and stuff rather than being totally destroyed in pockets and stuff like that. Really looking to come across like a miscut. I showed you one in a previous video from I think 2 days ago on Sunday. That was a really good misaligned bill, or miscut bill rather, that wasn't cut into the graphic portion of the bill, but it was a very low border percentage, and I just thought that was really cool. It was also contributed by a newcomer to the hobby, so I thought that was really fun too. Nothing really great there. As you can see, another over ink. It always seems to be, especially on 2013 series bills, to be on the third number over. This one's actually pretty heavily pronounced, as you can see. It sits not only level here, but it's also sitting higher than the other numbers. As you can see, comparatively to the other one in the serial number, it is quite larger. And then when you come over here, you have no repetition of that error. So yes, I would consider it a variety note, albeit it's not dramatic enough for it to really command a premium over the $1 value, unless somebody just super specifically wanted, you know, that style of variety. Another thumbprint in the middle. We have all of our annotations for seem to be correct on the back of the bill. Printing seems to be correct. Let's check out this folded over guy. Ooh, a star note. So cool. So as we know, star notes are just replacement notes. Essentially, something happened in production, and they replaced it by a star note. I love star notes. I try to keep pretty much all the star notes I have, although I get the question a lot, you know, what's the value of my star note? Best thing that I could say is, unless it has a really, for instance, let's say a ladder. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 star note. That would be I would consider a higher premium. You know, July 4th, 1776 is a date note. Plus being a star note would be a higher premium than $1. If it's something like this, it's $1. Unless somebody really collects, you know, it's also as much as somebody will pay for it, as you know. And this one's condition is also pretty screwed up, so that's going to detract even if it was a good serial number or had some other error to it. Nothing really with the reverse. Like I said, always the third number seems to be on 2013, seems to be the one that's heavily inked for whatever reason. Maybe it's, I don't know. Everything seems to be aligned here. This is also a 2013. Finally, not a third number over inked here. Everything's aligned properly. The vignette's correct. And last but not least, So nothing crazy in this run that we found, you know, lots of beat up bills, and this one even has a piece of tape on it. So nothing massively collectible. Let's shoot back to our 1-star note find. Nothing crazy, so, you know, if it was a lot cooler of a note, I'd give it away to one of you lovely people out there, but unfortunately, it is but a lonely little simple star note. So, a bust this time. Let's tune in next time for the next wallet search, and keep in touch with Dustin Morgan over at CoinOp if you like to collect coins. And cool deal. Check you guys later.